All right, welcome to the debrief. It's Dave O'Neill here with my Sergeant-in-Arms, Brad Oaks.
Hello, reporting for duty.
Going for a drive, do a little gig, then drive back with the chat. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief.
We're here just to me and you. No Henry, no Peter O'Thorne,
No Thorno, no Sonia,
no one.
nobody.
And where are we going, Brad?
We're going to Bairnsdale,
Bairnsdale, the Forge Theatre.
Gippsland, Victoria, 3.5 hours east.
Oh, it's a long way.
It is a long way, isn't it?
Let's just stop to the servo then, and
Yeah.
I don't know. You bought a pie, so I don't know
Yeah.
where I'm going to get dinner. I just don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, there'll be some. Bairnsdale's a pretty big town.
Oh, it's a big town, but there's a kind of a timing issue, isn't there?
Yeah, well,
With getting there and doing a sound check and all that.
But we are in the Dave Mobile, so there's probably like a lot of bountiful food secreted around.
Yeah,
us.
in here.
Yeah,
A quiche somewhere.
Yeah, like if we have a crash, the airbag pops out, and I get hit by 15 wagon wheels.
Oh, which aren't that good anymore.
Yeah,
Still
wrong
not bad.
podcast.
Yeah, wrong podcast. And also, you get one from a cake shop, they're really good.
Wow.
Now, yeah, it's a real
Sorry.
Queensland thing to make wagon wheels.
Have you ever eaten vanilla ice cream using a wagon wheel?
No.
Oh, yes, very nice.
Oh.
Very
It's
nice.
a very good tip.
I don't have a
Um,
sweet tooth either, but
No. You don't have a sweet tooth?
no, this is all savoury.
All savoury.
Yeah.
Wow. So you don't ever buy like a chocolate bar?
I will every now and then. I'll have a bit of chocolate, but it's kind of like, it's. I fail to see why people get so excited about it.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
same taste,
Right.
Whereas,
Sweet.
give me a capricciosa pizza and
Oh,
I
yum.
will do anything for you.
Maybe that's what we'll get tonight. Normally, like when we went to Shep, we went to Mildura, we got those old school pizzas,
Yeah,
and they are the best.
yeah. We had. I think we had a good pizza last year in New South Wales somewhere too.
Remember the last time we went to Bairnsdale, there was a pizza disaster at that pub.
That's what I was about to launch into. Yeah.
So they're not. That pub's not. I don't know if new people have taken it over, but
Well, look, I think I've spoken about the pigeon disaster before. About when the Crown Casino officially opened in Melbourne.
oh yeah, and it blew the pigeons.
There were two outdoor pit bosses or whatever, and one of them said, "Release the doves," and the other one said, "Turn on the fire sculptures,"
Yeah, that's
and
right.
massacred them. And they got fined a lot of money, and it was very tragic. And so I feel like this was almost of that scale, that they've just gone, we'll get Dave O'Neill down here in Bairnsdale, and everybody who buys a ticket gets a free pizza, or gets a pizza with it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll do it. Well, why don't we get a machine that makes 2 pizzas at once and see how long it takes us?
Yeah, it didn't work.
No,
Anyway,
they needed Jesus.
they needed something. We of course have to mention our new podcast, Slippery Slope,
Yeah.
which happened because of this touring that Celia of Wordsworth Production has been organising these regional tours for us, and we went to Mount Isa. And what happened? What happened, Brad?
Well, what we found in Mount Isa was we got there very early, couldn't check into our hotel. The woman from the municipal council who was kindly driving us around
Erica.
told us a wonderful tale about the water slide that was late.
Yeah, so they
turning
wanted
out.
a water slide. That's a whole saga in itself. And then, because there was opposition on the council, and then
Well,
they ordered it from Turkey, where water slides now get made. We learned. You learn so many things from this, and basically there was an incident in the Suez Canal, and pirates were involved.
yes.
So
and so we've done a true crime.
yeah, it's true crime.
Well, we're
like the next serial.
yeah.
Or
I mean, we're not women, but we will.
Yeah.
We are unraveling this crime.
who the one? We both listened to that Hamish podcast. Who the hell is Hamish?
Who the hell? Oh,
which
that's
is a
great
great
yeah.
podcast by the guy from the Australian. We we're pretty much going for his job.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I'm surprised we're not going to do a Q&A at the end of this on the slippery slope, where which is the thousands of people turning up going, we don't care about your stand-up.
I know.
Tell us more about the water slide at Mount Isa.
You've been waiting by the phone all week for 60 minutes to ring.
Yeah, George Negus, the next George Negus.
Dave O'Neill.
You can be
sleuth.
Ian Leslie.
And I'll be Yana Van.
Yana Van. Yeah.
I'm Dave O'Neill. I'm Brad Oakes.
This is 60 minutes.
Well, it's not. It's 42 minutes, but anyway.
Yeah. Look, the good thing about that podcast, it's a short one. So it's only a 4-parter, but have a listen. It's you'll hear me and Brad.
There may be a bonus. You never know.
There may be a bonus.
You know, because this could be a worldwide conspiracy.
And it could uncover other things.
Exactly.
Different things.
You know, maybe water slides are going missing all over the joint.
We're in Traralgon, Brad.
And so when we're talking about a water slide here, people, we're talking about a massive...
It's a big one. Hey, let's just reminisce about doing gigs at that pub with the late Dave Grant. Was it that pub? Yeah, it was in that room there.
The Royal, yeah.
This one there. I've done gigs in that room right there.
I did one in there once with a whole lot of
that's right. You did well. You did really well.
I did well, and they didn't do well, and they couldn't say anything all the way back to Melbourne. There was,
or was it this one too?
Yeah. And it
was that one, I reckon.
There was a saloon bar around the corner.
Yes.
We did comedy there.
And also that nightclub, it's called, oh God, I should remember, I make jokes about it. It's got a sunken dance floor. It's now a function centre, Brad.
Oh, yes.
It's called the...
that's
not the... hang on. Oh, I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, no, I remember it. Was that part of your Manhattan hotel room?
Yeah, if I'm around here, I would do it.
Yeah.
This is a McDonald's where they often have a bouncer and a velvet
Two
rope.
bouncers.
Two bouncers and a velvet rope.
Two bouncers and...
Two bouncers and a velvet rope.
Yeah, and if you really want to upset them, you just go, mate, I just want a Whopper.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, get off.
Yeah, fuck off.
The Traralgon one, it's called the... Not the Paradise, the...
God, I've heard it so many times too.
I'll remember it by the end of it. I'm having a noble moment, we call this, where...
That's another podcast.
There's another podcast.
That's all you do.
So we...
So,
well, you know, Glenn Robbins will be listening to the Slippery Slope podcast and be correcting you ad nauseum.
Oh, no.
You know, like, he was lying there like, that's wrong. That's wrong. Because you often correct Glenn, so...
I've corrected him twice. You know?
Yeah, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it.
But, mate, it's something that I've desisted from. I no longer do it.
Because he's one of the kings of comedy.
I know. Well, he's a nice man too.
No, Glenn, of course. One of the nice guys of comedy.
I will continue to correct dickheads.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. When I got bitten by the dog the other day, and outside this cafe, and I messaged somebody on Facebook, and they said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah," but I felt really bad for the woman who was pushing the baby in the pram past me when I told the dog what I thought of it.
Yeah.
So I called it a non-human, a human name.
Oh.
Yeah.
That fucking, you gotta be careful with it. And what sort of dog was it?
It was an American pit bull.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
It seemed friendly, and I was overconfident. I'm not blaming the dog. I'm not blaming the owner. I made the mistake of thinking that I was a dog whisperer, and I'm not.
Yeah.
And so I'll just go back to just complimenting dogs now, and not patting them.
No, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Just go, you're a fine-looking fella. Don't get out of the car.
I find any of those pit bull kind of types of dogs, keep away from them. You know, I mean, I know people love them, but
Mate, I'm more likely to die at the teeth of a Chihuahua though, and then a pit bull. They get a bad.
So you're going to die at the teeth of Mitzi rather than Satan or Rocky.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know, one of the dads at school was a vet, and he said different areas of Melbourne have different types of dogs.
Yeah.
So Bayside's got all the white fluffy ones, he said, and out north and west it's all Satan, Rocky, pit bulls, and you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a lot of Alsatians.
Well, there's it.
Bayside, where you live in that, which is the posher kind of area. Yeah, they're more white fluffies. Yeah.
But there's a good chance, like if you want to, apply logic to it, there's a good chance that the places where they have the Satans, they do have the little white fluffy dogs, but only for a limited time.
Yeah.
Because
He's
they are the
saying
staple diet
they're
of
getting
your
eaten. Yeah, they're getting eaten.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, just going.
oh.
You know how people feed their
Yeah.
snakes live mice.
Yeah, it's
in fact,
disturbing.
you might in fact move to a suburb that has the more miniature toy dog just to feed your
Yes.
Great Dane.
Like I saw in the pet shop yesterday, they have frozen rats and to feed your snakes or whatever they.
Yeah.
Always,
That's that
frozen
great
mice.
That's that great joke about the kid who goes, "Excuse me," he goes to the vet. He goes, "Excuse me, do you have a bunny rabbit? I want to get a bunny rabbit." And the vet goes, the guy in the pet shop goes, "Sure. Would you like a nice fluffy white one or a black one?" And the kid goes, "I don't think my rattlesnake gives a fuck what kind of colour it is."
That's funny. I haven't heard that.
I know. Well, there you go.
A new joke.
No, it was not one of mine.
No, I know that, but.
But it's
Oh.
so because I house sat when I finished my HSC, I house sat with Marshall Brothers actually in
Former comedy promoter.
In Elwood, down in Glen Huntley Road.
Yeah.
And one of the things these people, friends of his mum's, went over to England, so we house sat for 3 weeks, and the goldfish died.
Oh, did you replace it?
Oh, yeah, but not only that. Do you remember there used to be that big pet place on the corner of Elston?
Yeah.
Like the big yellow joint.
Yeah.
Right? So I went in there, and the day before they were coming back, and I said, "Oh, I hope they're not listening." I mean, it's it's statute of limitations.
A long time ago.
It's 40 years, and they said, I said to the guy, "I need to get some replacement goldfish," and he goes, "Sure. Do you want to have a look at them?" And I said, "No," and I pulled them out. And he laughed. And he said,
Oh, you had the dead ones?
"I brought the dead ones." And he said, "No one ever does that."
No.
I said, "It just makes sense to me."
Yeah.
It's just
Do you
matched
reckon
them.
the people knew, or?
I don't think so. No.
We had to, when we were younger, me and Kieran had one of her friends, Marta, she lived in a block of flats in Hawthorne, and she had rats, right?
Right.
And one of the rats got out and I couldn't find it. And then the next week we came, there was a notice saying, "Rat plague in the flats." I'm like, that's the rat.
Yeah.
And then the rat chewed through the electrical cord on the fridge and turned it off.
Yeah.
Naughty ratty.
Yeah. And how come they don't die when they do that?
I know.
Yeah. That's
Anyway, more rat stories.
yeah.
There's a rat in the kitchen. As
Yeah.
UB40 once said, "There's a rat in the kitchen. What am I going to do? I'm going to eat that rat." And you know when that song came out, UB40, they were
Yeah.
seen as a political band for a while.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying, "Oh, that's about the guy who undermined Margaret Thatcher." I think it was John Major,
Yeah.
who was like stabbed her in the back and all that. And the song was, and the guy the guy who wrote it goes, Ali or whoever said, "No, there was actually a rat in my kitchen.
There's a rat in the kitchen. Yeah.
There's a rat in my kitchen.
It's-
What am I
yeah.
going to do? I'm going to eat that rat."
It's like UB40, and people go, "I wonder what the UB stands for." Unemployment benefits.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's why there's two versions of UB40 that tour now. There's one with Ali, the lead singer, and there's one with all the other original members. And they had his brother singing for a while.
Well, I always wondered if that invalidated the
And because it's
unemployment.
UB40,
Yeah,
because it's
'cause-
UB40, you can't trademark it, apparently.
No, I meant because once they started getting paid, they'd have to go, well,
Yeah, we're
currently working benefits.
Yeah. They got, what's another form for working?
And see, this is what I struggle with. This is like, I'm not OCD.
They're now called work cover.
No,
I don't know.
internship.
Yeah.
Another stitch.
You struggle with what?
I struggle with just little, like, things of logic like that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's the kind of world of crooked paintings to me. It's like, well,
Well, it made sense when they were 10 or 8 unemployed guys from Birmingham.
when
But
an ATM machine, that's automatic telling machine.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's just
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
it's funny to some people. It's irritating to others.
That's
It-
irritating.
it is.
Anyway, Bairnsdale, what are we expecting, Brad? It's in a theatre.
Well-
I've done this theatre before. I think it's quite big.
Yeah.
Now, going by a track record, we probably won't fill it.
Well, that's. I feel like we should put that on our posters. Come along.
Yeah.
Stretch out.
Yeah, plenty of room. And the O'Neill and Oak shows.
Well, I've got billing.
You've got billing.
You know, that's what happened to me. I'm doing a show Wednesday, whatever the date is.
The 18th of June.
And I rang the woman. I said,
In Emerald
at the Paradise Valley Hotel.
Oh yeah, for people don't know, that's in the Dandenong.
It's in
mountains.
Clematis.
Near you can do my joke. What's a suburb around that sounds like a disease? Is it chlamydia? What's it called again, mate?
Well,
Yeah, you can do that one.
Or the joke I'm going to do, which is, wow, chlamydia. I couldn't even find it.
Oh yeah.
But I you
and
know,
there's the basin next to the toilet. I do that one too. So.
she got me to organise the gig, and I just messaged them and I just said, "You're going to put me on the poster?" Because they put Richard Stubbs and Ed Rock on there, and it just said, and another comedian. I thought,
Jesus Christ, lady.
I'm just being disappeared in history. So you're going away.
Yeah.
Right, and we've got this big podcast that's just dropped.
Yeah.
Episode 1 this week.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, I'm going to Japan and Europe to do press about it. That's why I'm going away.
yeah.
There's a big interest in Japan about Mount Isa.
And I'm going back to Mount Isa in July to cop the heat.
You'll cop all the heat. That'll be funny.
Yeah, and I'll just be like,
Erica will pick you up and just be shaking her head like, fuck you guys.
Or she'll pick everybody else up and not me.
No, I'm picking that scumbag up.
Yeah. You scabs. That's what you are. You scabs.
You ruined Mount Isa.
No, we're going to put them on the map.
We put them on the map.
We put them on the map. Wonderful town.
So have a listen to Slippery Slope.
Yeah.
All right, well, who knows what we'll find in Bairnsdale. It's a Saturday night. That's good. There was an article in the paper because David, who runs the Big Blokes Lunch down here, which I've done in Bairnsdale a few times, he took a photo and sent it to me. So
I love the way you can't say Bairnsdale.
Bairnsdale? What do I say?
You say Bairnsdale.
Oh, Bairnsdale. It's Bairnsdale.
And you can't say lasagna either.
No. How do you say that?
Lasagna.
I can if I hear someone say it,
yeah.
but I say lasagna. So I've said it as a joke, and now it's just become what I say.
Yeah,
lasagna.
Lasagna. You ironically moved yourself into that.
Everything and everything. You hate that too, don't you?
I do hate it.
All right, well,
all right.
Tune back in and we'll see. Brad's got to eat his pie. I've got to eat my twisties now. So we've got shit to do, people. We've got shit to do.
Woohoo!
I mean, we may find another local crime down here that we can do our next Slippery Slope. You never know.
Well,
we drove past Gunbuyer Park. There's a big water slide there. Maybe we should look into that.
Well, we could be maybe looking at other crimes, Dave.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever happened to that train from Melbourne to the Melbourne airport?
Oh, yes. Did Brad and Dave doing a gig at the Bairnsdale Hotel and the pizza fiasco cause it to close down? The pizza fiasco.
Yeah, well, that's... you can't say fiasco either.
Fiasco. I can't say a lot of words.
I know. But
I've got...
And you bagged your brother.
Okay, see what you think about this. I've thought about doing this as a routine because now... when people have issues, it seems to be on their CV and the first thing they tell people. Like when I was a kid, I went to a speech therapist, right? Because I was a twin.
Right.
So we couldn't speak normally.
Oh.
And so, but you would not tell anyone that. It was a secret you kept from everyone at school until you saw another kid in the waiting room and they just nodded at him. And then at school, when you saw him, just give him a bit of a nod. And the playground was full of other kids nodding at each other and winking and, with all these issues, you know. Well, now these days, man, people go, oh, can you introduce me and say I've got ADHD, I'm on the spectrum, and I've got autism. Oh, cool.
Well, imagine if your problem was nodding and winking.
Yes, I know.
You'd just be at school going, fuck, how many people have got this?
Yeah, I know. Look, these people are nodding and winking at each other. Yeah. Maybe that's the joke.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Well, every time I went to the chemist to buy Codral, they gave me condoms. That's an old joke. Nodding and winking.
But it does seem to be front and centre now. People put on their CVs like, I've got ADHD and fuck, everyone's got ADHD.
Yeah, well.
Everyone.
Yeah, I don't
I'm yet to meet someone but they're all self-diagnosed.
Well.
Except Hughesy got diagnosed over the phone.
Really?
Telehealth. Yeah, over the phone.
Yeah, well,
One of my kids tells me he's got ADHD. Never been diagnosed, but believes he's got it.
yeah, I know. It's kind of like, I know it sounds old.
What's the comparison to when we were growing up?
Well, I know.
It's like
I'm just lazy and rude.
yeah.
I know there's people out there who do have ADHD, mate.
Yeah, well, you know, it's
Yeah.
full on if you do have it.
I know, but I don't know. It's just
I don't know. I think it's like when you're a kid and you said you're an ABBA fan, and everyone just went, "Oh, I'm an ABBA fan." And then when you went deep with them, they're like, "I don't know any records or anything." Oh, you're not an ABBA fan.
Do you know what?
You just said you were.
That's where our words diverge.
You weren't an ABBA fan.
Well, I would not have. If I was, I would never have told anyone. No,
You'd just be nodding and winking at the ABBA fans.
Yeah, I was a David Bowie fan.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
There's no crossover.
I know that, but ABBA was a way to meet girls. Then again, David Bowie had all the girls.
You know, the other way to meet girls was actually to meet girls.
Yeah, to talk to them.
not to
just buy
dress up in
records.
Satin jumpsuits.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Dancing Queen.
Oh, what a band. I'm going to the ABBA show in London. Don't worry about that.
All right.
Holograms, you know. Can't
Oh,
wait.
wow.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Chose the dance floor as opposed to the seats.
Do you have to actually go in there to see a hologram?
Yeah. It's with a live band.
Okay.
A live band plus a hologram of the original four. Oh, man,
Right.
you can't tell me that's not going to be awesome. In fact, I might do a hologram tonight in Bairnsdale, just sit backstage. Or we'll do a lo-fi, get a cardboard cat and just do my voice.
I just want anybody out there who's listening to notice that
I've
he's
used myself.
reverting to saying Bairnsdale.
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 All right, we'll be back.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had a pie.
Did you work on the Snowy River program?
Yes, back in the day.
Bairnsdale. All right.
My neighbour did the Nazi. He was I don't know if he was a Nazi, but he was, it's a bit.
He was worked as a Nazi on it.
No, he was Polish and he was in camps and stuff, and he's dead now.
Oh, okay.
Stan, but he said he worked on the Snowy River project, and there were always fights because people would recognise him, and
Right.
yeah, not good. Anyway,
This guy's a bit of a worry.
gee, he's all over the road.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep away from him.
Yes.
All right, keep
Okay.
listening. We'll let you know how Bairnsdale goes.
All right.
Is that it, Bairnsdale?
Bairnsdale.
We're in Rosedale now.
Bairn, as in child, B-A-I-R-N.
Yeah.
Bairnsdale.
Bairnsdale.
Bairns.
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 Bairnsdale.
Okay. Sorry you had to hear that.
Whatever.
Okay.
Right. All right, we're back on the debrief. We've done Bairnsdale, the Forge Theatre. How was it, Brad?
Well, it was good. It was lovely. I found it a little tough.
Well, it was a big theatre with a smaller crowd,
It was.
but they were good though. By the time, you warmed them up. By the time I came on, they were great.
Do you know what? It was like, you know when you go to a really kind of knobby restaurant and you get a big plate with a tiny meal?
Oh yeah.
That's what it was like. you know?
Nouvelle cuisine, yes.
Yeah. But they did at least sit right in the middle.
They were
And
good.
They laughed a couple of times. I thought, oh yeah, here we go. But I think, and I've probably said this before, I think that they got me, but they wanted you. And one of the happiest moments we had was when I went, here he is.
Ah, don't talk yourself down. You got a big round of applause when I said your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they were good fun.
I did do some dick tricks. Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's interesting. They didn't really like dirty stuff. 'Cause
Well,
they give that a bit of a that kind of thing when I did anything a bit risque. That's for sure.
yeah. Well, I didn't really notice that. And I suppose now you say that, I probably should have worn pants.
Yes.
No,
Like-
it was a fine gig, and I should make this clear to people who are listening. It was job done and everything like that. It's just that I think we've mentioned this before. Sometimes you just expect the laughs just to keep coming,
A roll.
and I just didn't get a roll on. I worked for every single laugh I got, and I'm a lazy man. I
Yeah.
was not expecting that.
Tell you what, though, the spread at the green room.
Whoa.
Whoa, man! I sent a photo to Kitty Flanagan, and she said, "Yeah, that's impressive."
That's
Um,
yeah. Well, because when you said I'm going to send a photo to Kitty, I assumed you meant your daughter, and I thought, really, Dave, just let her live a life, right?
Yes.
I didn't
No,
realise.
Kitty's always interested in what is backstage because sometimes we've been to venues that hasn't even been a water.
Exactly.
They had to get water out of the tap, which is fair enough if they're local councils. But this one had 3 types of chips, 2 types of M&Ms, bags of lollies, Freddo frogs,
Yeah.
chocolate rolls. Oh man, drinks in the fridge. I got a Rising lemonade for the ride home.
And look, they should have maybe had just like a big jar of insulin and a,
Yes.
and a defib sitting there as well. But,
Oh man, and then a tea. So I was starving, and
yeah.
I said to the guy, "Where can I get something quickly around here?" He goes, "Go up to the Avco, the Ampol,
Yeah.
and they'll cook whatever you want." And so I go there, and there's a Chinese guy who I started talking to. He was really interesting. He said he was a Chinese backpacker, and because he cooked the dim sims and fish in front of me,
Yeah.
and we got the big South Melbourne ones, and you had a bit of fish, and he kept sticking the thermometer in it. And I said to him, "Mate, I got plenty of time. You don't have to. I'm not in a rush because I'd rather it be well cooked, you know." Anyway, and he said, "Look, while you're waiting, have this chicken for free." He gave me some chicken tenders, and I'm eating that, and he goes, "Yeah, you can have that. That's been here all day."
Yeah.
And he said all day like this. That's been there all day. I'm like, whoa.
You know when you said,
Still nice though.
you know
nice.
when you said he kept sticking the thermometer in, I wouldn't have been able to help myself. I would have said, "Is it not well? Is it feeling poorly?"
Are those dim sims bad? What's wrong? Anyway, he was telling me. I said, "What are you doing in Bairnsdale?" He said he worked on a farm for a year. He said that when the backpackers get a two-year visa if they work for a year on a farm. And I go, "What was that like?" He goes, "It was a shit job." He said it was really hard. He said this is much better in the servo.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of people saying it's not a shit job, but that's a very Gippsland thing. I think people do get kind of trapped almost here, like where they just go, so why didn't you leave? And they go, "I just ran out of energy."
Yeah, it was interesting.
That happened the last time we were in
It was
Bairnsdale.
interesting. But anyway, the spread was great. And so we finished the gig. I've got like 2 bags of M&Ms, a drink, and some lollies. And I walk out the back door, and there's a few punters standing around. And this woman goes, "Oh, you clearing out the green room, are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, well." And she goes, "I put them there." And it was Rachel who manages the place.
Yes. Oops.
Oh.
Well-
Anyway, I signed a poster for a young man who loved comedy,
Yeah.
which
And
was great.
went and put everything back. No, we didn't.
But the young man said, "I love that joke about your penis 3 degrees or something." Did you do a joke about that?
About what?
Oh,
Yeah, but when I said I fell down the cliff.
he was talking about your joke.
Yes.
I didn't know what he was talking about.
I said I fell down the cliff. I lost all my fingernails. I lost skin off my face, and I lost 8 inches off my penis. And then I say to the audience, "Well, look, I can't claim that because that would give me negative 3 inches."
Oh, that's what he said. He goes, "My favourite joke was negative 3 inches." I'm like, "Oh, good one."
Oh,
I
there
know
you-
what he's talking about.
There you go. God, I haven't done that joke for years.
Oh, wait, well, he, Jake, he loved it, mate.
Well,
He goes, "I just lost it after that."
Well, do you know what was great was I did the joke about The Secret. You know, I talk about the philosophy of The Secret.
Visualising stuff.
And this woman yells out, "I know it." I went, and she had an accent, and I said, because she interrupted me twice.
Yeah.
And I said, "You know it, do you?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "What is it?" She goes, "It's The Secret." And I said, "Yeah, but what? How do you know?" And she said, "I have the book."
Yeah, the book.
And I said, "Oh, really? So can you tell us about it?" She goes, "I haven't. I can't." And I said, "Why is that?" She said, "I've never opened the book."
She should have said, "It's a secret."
Well, she'd already tried that one, and I wasn't having it. Right?
All right.
But I just said to her, "What it should have on, that's probably the first thing they should have on the book is you must open this book."
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely
Isn't it
pointless.
just like, you visualise
You
you
manifest.
You
just-
manifest.
whatever you want, you ask the universe. You say, "Hey, universe, can I have that 8 inches back on my dick?"
But also you make a board too with pictures of a Mercedes or whatever you want, don't you?
Yeah,
It's a
well,
visualisation board, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like a lot of things, I know a little bit about it, but I certainly,
Invented by a Melbourne woman who worked at Channel 9.
I know, but it got promulgated by Oprah Winfrey, and that's
Yeah.
why it took off. But to be honest, Dave, you've seen my life. What have
Yeah.
I manifested? Right,
Mate, you're still doing comedy. You manifested that gig tonight.
I manifested those lollies in the green room.
Yeah. That bit of fish with a thermometer in it. That's funny. Mate, I kept saying to him, I've got plenty of time. You don't have to. There's no rush here.
Is it poorly?
Is it
but-
poorly?
But no, it was good. This is one of the longer drives too, isn't
You
it?
should do that in stand-up.
What? About the
thermometer.
No. What was the one?
Because my son bangs on about that all the time. It's a MasterChef thing, I think.
Yeah. Oh,
they
yeah.
always have these thermometers. Because we should get a thermometer, Dad, for cooking roast. And then I'm like, I don't need a thermometer.
Yeah, we've got you.
Yeah, fucking.
You just make him eat the first bit.
Yeah.
If he keels over, whack him back in the oven for 10 minutes.
God, I hope that chicken that was there all day doesn't come back and haunt
Well,
me.
see, that's why when you said, "Do you want it?" Because
It was deep fried, though.
Yeah,
Should
but
be right.
the worst ever food poisoning I had was
Oh,
from
no, come
chicken
on.
that sat in a bain marie all day.
Oh, no.
And that's where I threw up so badly, I got 2 black eyes.
Oh, wow.
I've never thrown up that violently in my life. In fact, it wasn't 2 black eyes. I ended up with a little mask, like I was a raccoon.
Oh.
But it was red, because I burst all the blood vessels in.
Yeah.
And that's one violent chuck.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's
Anyway, we're on that.
shit at both ends, Dave.
Yeah. You're a gastro. You shit at both ends. That's a Tom Seager joke. From
Yeah,
his,
very good joke.
They used to call him gastro on the footy field because he was shit at both ends.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did it. And driving down here, some guy, never seen this before.
That's amazing.
So there was a guy in a ute tailgating us, right, on a single lane highway, being quite aggressive. So and a high beam and stuff, and he overtook us. So then I put the high beam on him, and he did this. He's got a light on the back of his car that flashed in our face.
He's got a reverse high beam.
Yeah.
And I reckon it was probably off an aircraft. Right?
It was very bright.
Yeah, but you know the headlights that those
Yeah.
planes have?
I've never seen that before.
It's the brightest light I've ever seen on the road.
But that says to me he has a lot of road rage incidents.
Oh, totally.
And he's put the light in to counteract them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's because I was looking at my phone at the time or something like that, and all of a sudden I could see through my hand.
Mate, you thought we were getting kidnapped by aliens.
Yeah.
So finally they've come to probe us.
Not probing. Not
Finally
probe.
some action.
I've got my good underwear on. It's all right.
Who are they going to probe first?
I know. Probably the one who wants it the least.
Who does the joke now when the aliens land in America and they go, take us to your leader, and the guy's like, mate, you don't want to. Nah, you don't want to meet him. Like,
Yeah.
someone does a joke about that.
I don't know, but I saw somebody do a bit about how they don't probe. Oh no, we don't probe anymore. We've got better technology. Because it always was. I was a bit askins all the time about that. Like,
Yeah, but why are they putting things up your bum?
where really, you've got the technology
To fly
to
here.
fly thousands and thousands of light years, and then they're gonna, somebody's gonna fist you.
Yeah, that's weird. We should ask the questions, and we're going to get to eating our lollies.
Well, we're gonna stop off and do a little ad in.
Oh, and Sale.
Sale
We're coming to
as well.
Sale, everyone.
Yeah.
You're in Yeppoon, you're in Mount Isa with Billy and Sonia and
Limo.
Limo!
and motorboat.
Motorboat.
And Melissa.
So if you're in Queensland, go along, and then me and you were doing, and with the gang, we're doing Sale and we're doing Albury.
Yeah. Yeah.
First
what's
of the
going
gang.
on? And then you and I are doing.
Perth, a lot of Perth
WA.
dates. Yeah, if you're in Perth.
August.
We're coming to Mandurah, Gosnells, and
Bunbury. Yeah.
And I'm doing Broome and Kalgoorlie, I think, as
Yeah.
well.
And Dave's going to take some photos of Broome for me.
No. Yeah.
We're a bit going on. But so the gig.
Okay, what went well, Brad?
Look, I first of all, I want to shout out to the techs.
Yeah, great.
To Joe and Pat, just so no stress whatsoever. Nothing was a problem. Everything was cool. They nailed everything. Unobtrusive. And
Fantastic.
just a beautiful little theatre. So it went well. It was
We're going to return when we're really famous and sell it out. I know when that will be.
yeah. Well, it's
We're going to rob a 7-Eleven on the way home.
take my ashes.
Yeah.
What
What didn't go well?
Well, sorry. I'll just tell you one other thing that worked well for me was it wasn't freezing cold on that stage.
No, it was warm. It was
Yeah.
good because it was cold backstage.
Yeah, but it wasn't for, quite often in those theatres were because, that stage was a third of the room.
That was
It
big.
was massive, wasn't it?
We could have done Oklahoma on it. Oklahoma.
Well, we could have had a Jetstar terminal there.
Yeah.
So that worked very well, and the audience were quite nice. That's what worked. Yes.
What didn't go well then?
Yeah, I don't know. I just I feel like all that heat was on the stage rather than directed at me.
Yeah.
And it's so look, all I'm bitching about, folks, wasn't a bad gig. It was just wasn't super easy.
No.
And what else didn't go
What?
well? Well, I don't know. All
Any
these
organisational hazards get in the way?
No, but I was just saying what might not going to go well is the amount of lollies we've eaten.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Organisational hazards. They're pretty good, weren't they? They're pretty well organised.
Yeah,
They're fantastic.
So, yeah, I think that somebody should invent some other form of travel.
To get back from Bairnsdale. Well, how can we do better next time?
Look, I felt like we didn't need to do any better.
No.
Though.
Get a helicopter.
Yeah, get a helicopter. And,
Should be like that trumpet player, James.
Morrison.
Famous. Yeah. He's got his pilot license and flies to his gigs.
Oh, right.
So maybe we should get Tommy Little. He's got his pilot's license. Give us a lift, Tommy.
Yeah, okay,
We'll even let him do 5.
and just go, yeah. And he go, great, guys, where's the gig? Oh, Barona.
Yeah. You gotta fly back. Has he got his helicopter license too?
I think he's working on it.
Jesus.
Oh, no. Seriously, I know. I haven't even got my, I can't.
You got your car license.
Oh, yeah, but I can't reverse the trailer.
Yeah, no, that's hard.
I nearly lost my license too.
All right. Oh, did you points?
No, a little sneaky little trick, which was in Victoria. I don't know if this happens elsewhere. I didn't know this. Because I had a few parking fines. Because just so you know, I'm not the wild colonial boy. I just find parking fines a bit rich because I think
they're annoying.
if you don't provide enough parking, then of course people are going to default. But anyway, I said to myself, okay, I've paid enough parking fines. I've had 2 heart attacks. I'm not going to pay any more parking fines. And
No, because you'll just die with that debt.
yeah, and I had some. I had a red light fine and I had a speeding fine, and I said, well, I'll pay those.
Yeah, because they have anyway, whatever.
And so anyway, I get a letter saying that if I don't pay all of it, my license will just get suspended.
Well, that's annoying.
And my rego, right, to the point where you can't even sell your car. Your rego's, it's not the car, your rego's suspended. And I went, oh, you dirty buggers. So I have to pay it, so I'm paying them off. So
you get a payment plan, or what happens?
Yeah, I got a payment plan, and I did what everybody else does. Is I got a payment plan, and then a few weeks later, I rang up and I said, "Can I change my payment plan?"
Can I get a payment plan for the payment plan?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, just so people don't, I don't think I'm a socially irresponsible person, but
I am a reckless driver. I tell my kids I'm a defensive driver, but you say I drive like a
cop.
Like a cop, right?
You do.
So
Senior Sergeant Dave O'Neill.
The other day, I was dropping Kieran off into the city, right? I drive down Rathdown Street, 40 kilometres, right? It's changed in the last couple of years from 50 to 40, which is really slow if you're just driving. Anyway, whatever. There's cops, traffic, highway patrol with the gun. I go, oh, look at that. Look at these idiots. Oh, look at these idiots. Oh, those poor fuckers. Okay, I drop her off. I drive back past them again, have a glance. People pull over. Look at those fucking idiots. Oh, fucking. Anyway, about 2 hours later, Kieran rings me, can you come pick me up? I'm like, oh, God, all right. So I go over and pick her up. I drive down Rathdown Street. All of a sudden, woo! I'm like, I got pulled over by the same cops that I've been making fun of.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, you were doing 51 in a 40 zone. I'm just going to go check your driving record. And he comes back, he goes, well, Mr. O'Neill, you've had a bit of a sketchy past, haven't you?
Yeah, you are Jason Statham.
I know. I said, yeah, I nearly lost my license. Yeah, he goes, yeah. Well, this is only 1 point. I'm like, oh, thank fuck.
You know, I
$200. And he said he was going to text the fine, but I never got the text. Do you reckon they've let me off?
No. What happens is, once you think you've got off, the moment you go, I reckon I got off.
They send you the message.
It just turns up. It's some deal with the universe. But you know
Because
why?
Highway Patrol, they won't let you off normally.
So I wrote that joke about the Highway Patrol because I got booked on the way to Albury, and the cop was really nice.
Yeah.
I think his name was Senior Constable something Saunders from the Wangaratta Highway Patrol.
Oh, yeah.
Highway Patrol. And
Highway.
yeah, he was eating a pie. And he said, he did that, and he gave me a split, marked me down and everything like that. He was very friendly, but he did that thing I hate right at the end where he goes, anyway, Bradford, I have to ask you, did you have any reason for
speeding?
For speeding. And it just shits me, right? It just, we've done it.
What can you say to that?
Yeah, and I looked him straight up in the eye, and I said to him, I'm just overconfident, mate. And he just went, he looked at me and he went, what? Anyway, the joke I wrote out of that was, he goes, what do you mean overconfident? What does that mean? I said, well, you know how you just gave me a fine for $290. And he goes, yeah. And I said, you reckon I'm going to pay that? That's overconfident. Boom tish.
Boom, boom.
But it's the same when they make a joke, right? Just come on. It was like when those dudes at the airport said to me, because I made a joke about...
Not a bomb, I hope.
Yeah, I did. I made a joke about a bomb.
Oh, fuck.
Because what happened was, I flew back from Wagga. I did a gig in Wagga. And I flew back from Wagga, and we just got straight on the plane. And then we flew into Melbourne.
Yeah, and then they do the search afterwards.
And they do the search afterwards before we go into the terminal. And there was one umbrella, and it was raining, and we had to queue up to get inside to get searched. And so I started going, meh, like that, because I was annoyed. And then when we got there to the thing, I said, well, I would have blown the plane up already. So anyway, then...
10 big guys come out.
Well, 3 guys grabbed me, and they did that thing where I'm on the travelator, right, at the airport, and so they have to walk next to the travelator.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there like, I'm out of Star Wars or something, just going along, and this guy goes, and you can tell they were security because they were trying not to look like security, and one of them says to me, he goes, what makes you think you're qualified to make it? He asked me, did you make a joke about a bomb? And I said, well, I didn't say a bomb. I just said I would have blown up because it seemed asinine to me to search us after we've left the plane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, what makes you think you're qualified to make a joke in an airport? And I said to him, well, as a matter of fact, mate, I'm probably, at this moment, the most qualified person in the airport to do that. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm allowed to make jokes. And he goes, what? And I pulled out one of my DVDs, showed it to them, and then got off the travelator and just walked off.
Jesus,
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Right. I'm probably making people angry out there, just going, he's a bad and he's a rogue, but come on, it's bullshit. Why would you search people after they've got on the plane?
I know, they've done that to me too.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
All right, well,
and
have a listen to Slippery Slope, our new podcast. It's like a proper podcast. It's not just 2 guys rambling on.
No, it's true crime.
True crime, man.
True crime.
Thanks again, Brad.
Thanks, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.